Alright, today we're going to show you how to put on a new Harbor Freight pump. So this is my old Speed Air I got off of Craigslist. 2 years ago I put this Leeson motor on it, so it was about 200 bucks. Recently it just hasn't started, or it started not being able to pump up any pressure, or it takes 15 minutes to get 60 pounds. So I think this is shot. It's not really worth rebuilding. So Harbor Freight has these pumps for a 3 horsepower application for 144 bucks, so we're gonna go that way. I'm gonna start by just taking this off, take all the plumbing off, figure out what needs to be adapted, and figure out what we need to do to mount it, and any kind of pulley adjustments we need to make. So we'll start by pulling off the plumbing. All right, we went ahead and got the guard off, but before we go ahead and take the pump off, I'm gonna take a measurement from the belt to the body so we get the center line of the pulley right. So that's 1 1/8. It's kind of hard to read on the phone, but it's 1 1/8. So I know when I put it back on, put the new pump on, try to get it to line up if it'll do it with that pulley. So go ahead, now we can take off the pump. All right, simple enough. Just held on with 4 self-tappers actually. They didn't even have nuts on them. It's a little scuzzy, so I'm gonna clean that up real quick while we're in there. There it is. You can see it had been running real hot. It actually had cooked the paint off on the valve cover here, so something was wrong internally. Not really sure. Again, for something this small, it's not really worth rebuilding right now, as cheap as they are from Harbor Freight. I'll probably dig into it and see if it's something that's just rings or something simple and try to have it as a rebuild. Be interesting when we get the Harbor Freight out. I think the wheel's going to be quite a bit bigger, so the flywheel's going to be a lot larger, so we'll see. I'm going to keep the flywheel on the Harbor Freight if possible, because I'm sure it's designed to be run at a certain RPM, and you got to worry about shaft diameter, all that good stuff. So let me clean up the tank and get the Harbor Freight out, see what the fit up looks like. All right, I got the new pump just set in right now. It's going to be pretty close. It looks like there's going to be enough gap and distance between the wheel and where the spacing is. It's not going to run into the flange here, the mounting flange. So we'll get it, I think it'll mount up fine. Just re-drill some holes and I'll just reuse the bolts that held the other one on. So just a quick second, I'll get a measurement. Like this wheel's right at 12 1/4, give or take. This one's right at 10. So it's gonna run a bit slower, but we'll try it out as is. I was just gonna run a little slower, might take a little longer to pump up. Or this could be larger displacement and it's gonna pump up about the same as it was before that one. I got a little tired. So I think it's close enough as is. Might be able to put the guard back on as well. Not that worried about it because it sits in the corner. So what I'm gonna do right now is get this straightened out in here, get the measurement to the 1 1/8 to the edge of the belt as we had on the other one, and then get this drilled and put in place. All right, got the measurement. So I got the belt is 1 1/8 from the edge of this flange, the same as it was, so it'll line up with that pulley. Everything's good, clearance is good. So I marked it in there. What I'm gonna do to mark these holes, if you don't have one of these are pretty nice, just a cheapy set from Harbor Freight again. It's a transfer punch. So they're specific diameter rods with these little points on them. You fit that down into any kind of hole, like this, it's precise fit. Put a mark on there, and then you have all your holes without trying to, measure in from the edge, which just has a rounded edge. It's tough to measure from. You just bang that, drill your holes, lines right back up. So that's it. All right, new pump's mounted. Just use the same self-tappers that were in it. This one actually was already lined up with a hole, so I just used a nut and bolt 1/4 inch. Not up here. So it looks pretty good. So now I have to adapt that compression fitting, to that compression fitting. See, it's pretty big. I don't know why it's so big. This pump's not that large. I don't know why they think you need that large a line. But really, that's all it needs to be done. So I will take that nut off, this fitting off, and take it up to Home Depot, figure out what I can do as far as adapting that, necking it down. Maybe with that, I'll probably have to just put a new line in instead of trying to bend that copper line. It's too long. Because the other one came in, or went out right from here. So that's all cast, so there's not gonna be anything I can do with that. So plus this will cool it down a little bit. So that's it. So I'm just gonna really have a line that goes from here to there. Pretty simple. Alrighty, that's it. I'm gonna take this apart, take it up to the store and see what I can find out. All right, we got her all plumbed up. So this is the fitting that goes in this housing from Harbor Freight. So that's 3/4 inch pipe converted to 3/4 inch compression, which would not be too bad to find, except Home Depot, Lowe's, your normal stores don't carry 3/4 inch compression. It's too big, plus you'd have to neck it down anyway. So what I did is I went 3/4 pipe reduced to 1/2 inch pipe, and then I went 1/2 inch pipe female to 1/2 inch compression on this particular tank. So this is just a normal water hose. Should handle the pressure fine. I don't know if it's approved for gas air use, but we're gonna use it anyway. I mean, people plumb these with PVC and that lasts with some debate, but I think it's gonna be just fine. It's in the corner. If it does pop, so be it. So anyway, that's pretty slick, worked out pretty well. I just didn't feel like doing compression fittings and copper, so this worked out pretty nice. So we'll let the pipe goop, the thread compound set up, and in the meanwhile I will figure out what I need for a belt. So this is 2 inches larger diameter, so the belt that I had on it will not work. So anyway, that worked better than I thought it was going to. A little bit of a pain. I don't know why they use such a large fitting again, but not too bad to adapt it. All right, quick measurement using string comes up to 54 inches for the length needed for these pulleys. I always end up just getting 3 belts. So depending on how much the belt lays into those pulleys, into that V, you can have, it could be smaller or longer than you think it's gonna be, because the string obviously lays in to that valley. So this is 54. I'll buy a 52, 54, and 56. Just take the 2 back that I don't need. I've tried to make it more accurate over the years. It's just better to get a couple extra and then take them back. So go get that, see if it gets what I need. All right, got her all mounted up, filled up with oil. Check her out. Real nice and quiet. Feel a little pressure. Run it a couple times and then shut it down.